brother Thursday! Over the wall, Fresh Show!
Hi guys, welcome again to Fakkel. This week, we'll be reviewing a movie that first came out in 2010 and was never shown in this country. You'll find out soon enough why we're reviewing this movie. It's a movie called Four Lions.
It's a slow week in the cinema, and this movie is topical at the moment.
Yes.
With ISIS running riot in the Middle East and local suicide bomber wannabes giving themselves to the cause in the Middle East. So we decided to review this movie because this movie came up at the height of the suicide bombing frenzy, and it's a satirical take on the issue of suicide bombers.
Yes.
And it's directed by this guy called Chris Morris. He's most renowned for a series called The Brass Eye. It's a satirical weekly news series which is really hard-hitting but at the same time really funny. So this is his take on suicide bombers called Four Lions. Now, they are very Islamist characters. They are really into the religion and
really into a particular interpretation of the religion.
And they really feel that they have got to do more in order to go far in the religion.
Yes.
So the movie has got excellent one-line quotes and it's really, really funny.
Yeah, there are bits of it that was just laugh out loud, funny, extremely hilarious.
This movie, on certain parts, you felt uncomfortable, but it was funny. But certain parts which was funny, but then you are laughing and yet you do feel for them. I suppose I would feel more in that respect than maybe a Western guy who is a non-Muslim who's watching it.
Yeah, who wouldn't understand.
Yeah,
like that particular that one scene where Barry or whatever his Muslim name was asked first, "Did your father buy Jaffa oranges?" Yeah, we've seen the boycott list. We've seen all the other things. That's right, Jaffa oranges. So you can't eat Jaffa cakes either.
You're supporting the Jews.
You're supporting the Jews. And what Chris Morris managed to capture, which is amazing, I think. And bearing in mind, this movie is already 5 years old, but it's still relevant today, which goes to show that things haven't changed all that much.
And the other thing about this movie was that it wasn't derogatory. It was not offensive per se.
Well, it didn't. To me, it didn't offend Islam.
Yes.
But it tried to show that these guys are deluded. They are wrong. To some extent, while you're laughing at their silliness and stupidity, at the same time, you can't help feeling for them, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
It hit me because it hit a lot of truth in there.
Yes. There are people who did like it, so I guess.
Yeah, I think some people were really adverse against it, and I think this is a movie that would polarize because it's a work of fiction. It was relevant in 2010 when the world was still raw after 9/11. It divided
and
opinions.
also the bombings in London.
Yeah, bombings in London mainly. So it did divide opinions. Putting the seriousness aside, there are really, really funny gags in the movie. And it was a somewhat semi-serious scenario, and yet Chris Morris managed to use it and get comedic value out of it. And it was...
Yet at the same time, based on some interpretation of the truth. Like, for example, Faisal, he doesn't want to be on camera. Whenever a camera is on him, he puts a box in his head because he says that, his father says you can't have your likeness. It's haram.
I mean, how many stars would you give this movie?
If I were to pick a top 10, this one would be in it. 4.5 easily.
Yeah. So I would give it 4.5 stars as well. It's not a perfect movie by all means, but there are some gems in there, some brilliant one-liners.
Yeah, and for every time I watched it, and I think it's now 4 times now, I have to stop everything else. Because I just stop everything else and watch it.
Yes.
And I still laugh, and in a bit, I forgot that, hey, this was funny.
Yes, and you would never listen to top loaders dancing in the moonlight in the same light ever again after this movie. And you might not get it until you watch the movie, but this is part of the gag. Yeah. This is part of the gag. Yeah. So watch the movie if you want to know what
this is.
This means. Alright? Yeah.
That's it.
Dancing in the moonlight, everybody's feeling